What is going on, you guys? I'm as always Mr. Grimreaper 2 with the one and only Dark 997, and welcome everybody to another edition of Rip from the Silverscreen. And as I said in the first video, I'm doing this late. Um, yeah, if you guys want to know why, watch my other video that I just did at the beginning of Devil's Backbone and all that, and you'll know why. But we are going to talk about the 1996 cult classic From Dusk Till Dawn. Now, From Dusk Till Dawn is directed by Robert Rodriguez. It was written by Quentin Tarantino. It stars a plethora of people: Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Quentin Tarantino, Juliette Lewis, Cheese Marine, and Fred Williamson, and the sexy and voluptuous Salma Hayek.
Okay, this is Desperado. Thank you.
Yeah. Um, and we are going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the plot here in a minute.
Yep.
I've seen the other ones, the other From Dusk Till Dawn movies. Um, I didn't really like the other ones all that much. Um, the only one I think that is good in this movie, the only one that I believe that is good is this one. So, uh, but I don't believe that Knight has seen the first one before. But um, we are going to talk about this. So, and we have some stuff to discuss. So, let's do it. Fugitive bank robbers Seth and Richie Gecko hold up a liquor store, killing clerk Pete Bottoms and Texas Ranger Earl McGraw, and in the process, they inadvertently destroy the building. At the motel where they are hiding out, Seth returns to find Richie has raped and murdered a bank clerk they had taken hostage. Jacob Fuller, a pastor experiencing a crisis of faith, is on vacation with his teenage children, Scott and Kate, in their RV. They stop at the motel and are kidnapped by the Geckos, who force the Fullers to smuggle them over the Mexican border. In Mexico, they arrive at a place called the Titty Twister, a strip club in the desert, where the Geckos will be met by their contact, Carlos, at dawn. Carlos will escort them to a sanctuary in El Rey, a place of safety where fugitives from justice whose mission fee is 30% of everything they have. When Richie complains to Seth that this is too high, Seth tells him it is non-negotiable. The bar employees reveal themselves as vampires and kill most of the patrons. Richie is bitten by a stripper and dies. Only Seth, Jacob, Kate, Scott, and a biker named Sex Machine and Frost, a Vietnam veteran, survive. The others are reborn as vampires, including Richie, forcing the survivors to kill them all when an army of vampires in bat form assembles outside. The survivors lock themselves in, but Sex Machine is bitten. Sex Machine being who was played. Let me see. Where is it? Oh, Tom Savini. Who? If you guys don't know who Tom Savini is, he worked on the makeup for Friday the 13th and a lot of other movies.
He's a special effects makeup artist.
Yeah.
He does a really good job, by the way.
Yeah. And he bites. Yeah, and bites Frost and Jacob. Frost throws Sex Machine through the door, allowing the vampires to enter while Frost turns into a vampire. Seth, Kate, and Scott escape to a storeroom, followed shortly by an injured but still alive Jacob brandishing a shotgun. In the storeroom, they fashion weapons from truck cargo the vampires have looted from past victims, including a stake mounted on a pneumatic drill a crossbow, and holy water, which requires Jacob to recover his faith to bless. Jacob, knowing he will soon become a vampire, makes Scott and Kate promise to kill him when he changes. The group make their final assault on the undead. Sex Machine mutates into a large rat-like creature and attacks Seth. Oh, I remember that part. Crap. I remember that part. That still scares me to death. But is killed. Jacob becomes a vampire, but Scott hesitates to kill him, allowing Jacob to bite him. Scott hits Jacob with holy water and shoots him. Scott is overwhelmed by vampires who begin who begin to eat him alive. He begs for death, and Kate shoots him. As vampires surround Kate and Seth, streams of morning light enter through the bullet holes in the building, making the vampires back away. Carlos arrives, and his bodyguards blast the door open, letting in the sunlight and killing the vampires. Seth chastises Carlos for his poor choice of a meeting place and negotiates a smaller tribute for his admission to El Rey. Kate asks Seth if she can go with him to El Rey, but he refuses, apparently as a kindness, leaving her with some cash. Kate drives away in the RV, leaving the titty twister, revealed to be the top of a partially buried Aztec temple behind the establishment. Thus ending this creepy ass movie. So, I have seen this movie multiple freaking times, and I have to tell you guys, this movie still scares the crap out of me. If you guys don't know what this movie is, where have you been for over the past decade, for over the past 2 decades? This movie was, in my opinion, I'm gonna say Desperado comes second. This movie comes first. Robert Rodriguez knows how to fucking tell a good story, and so does Quentin Tarantino. These two were really good. This movie became a cult classic all on its own. This one and Desperado, which we'll talk about another day, were my 2 favorite movies when I was growing up. Which I'm surprised that Knight didn't see this when he was coming up in the 90s. But I saw this multiple times when I was a kid. I felt so bad for Frost and Sex Machine when they got killed in this movie. The person I think that I did not have no fucking quarrels of them dying was Richie. Richie, who is played by Quentin Tarantino, he's a fucking psychopath. The woman that the bank clerk, the woman that they had taken hostage, they were trying. I remember, if I remember correctly, Seth told him, keep an eye on her, make sure nothing happens to her. You know what I mean? But what does he do? He has a tendency to fuck up. Richie does.
Yeah.
He has a tendency to fuck up, and that's exactly what Seth said to him. He called his brother a fuck up because that's what he does. Richie fucks up hard in this movie, horrifyingly. I like. There's a couple of people in this movie I liked. Cheech Marine. I need to talk about him. Because he plays three different people in this movie. He plays the border patrol guard that Jacob and his family, along with the geckos, they meet on the border. Then, then he plays this character called Chet Pussy, and he also plays Carlos, which is the dude that the geckos are supposed to meet at the end of the movie,
Yeah.
but only Seth and Kate meet them. Um, he Oh, I didn't mention the band. Okay, guys, if you guys don't know who Tito and Tarantula are,
Oh yeah.
watch fucking Desperado because they show up in that movie. Uh,
Yeah.
I think that I don't know if the full band is in that movie, is in Desperado, but I think the lead singer for that is in.
Well, they do write music in some of the movies. They write the music for the soundtrack of Desperado.
Yeah, but wasn't the main guy the lead singer, wasn't he in Desperado?
Who's the lead singer? Let's see. I think he might have been. I'm not sure. Yeah. He has gone to play noble sporting roles. You're right. Yeah, he was in Desperado.
Yeah, because wasn't he the one that was talking to Cheech? Like they were like it was like before it was before Antonio Banderas walked into the thing.
He would come into the bar because he would work for Bucho.
Yeah.
Bucho, he would come into the bar just to make sure things were good at that bar because that was apparently up front headed by Bucho's men. And that was him. You're right.
Yeah.
That was him. That's him.
Yeah, see, I told you. But anyway, but yeah, Tito, the lead singer for Tito and Tarantula, he's fucking hilarious in this shit. When he turns into a vampire, before he explodes, he tells I forget who he tells the two kids, Jacob, and everybody, fuck you and good night. Before he blew the Kingdom Come. That shit was fucking hilarious. Talk about last words. Talk about famous last words.
Exactly.
Also, Danny Trejo is in this movie. He plays Razor Charlie in the movie.
Yeah.
In Desperado, I think he plays a different character in the movie. And I think in Desperado, I think he plays a different character in Desperado. I would like to say.
Daybell?
Yeah.
Yeah, he played. He didn't really talk the whole film in Desperado, as you noticed. He didn't talk at all, not one word. What he was just a hired gun, because he would call somebody. We don't know who was on that line because it was unknown. But he played a knife-throwing kind of hitman. That, as I said, he was a silent assassin. He never said one word throughout that whole film.
Yeah. But didn't he play the same guy in Once Upon a Time in Mexico?
Kind of, but that one he was more like himself because he spoke and he worked with the Johnny Depp character apparently.
Yeah. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Desperado series another day.
3 movies based on all that. We'll talk about El Mariachi, Desperado, and Once Upon a Mexico. That's the whole series, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, I've only seen Desperado and Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I've never seen El Mariachi, but he has.
Well, I have.
But anyway, I had a crush when I was growing up. When I was a kid, I had a crush on Juliette Lewis. I loved her in this movie, and I also had a crush on Salma Hayek. Now Salma Hayek plays the lead villain in this movie, Santanico Pandemonium, who is the lead vampire in this movie. And she's freaking hot. Like I love that. I love that scene when they first meet her. When you were
Yes.
introduced to her in this movie. Um, but here's something that I did not understand about From Dusk Till Dawn. If this movie, if this place built was built on a fucking Aztec temple, did anybody fail to check?
Nobody does.
I mean,
Nobody did.
really, I'm being serious about this, guys. Did anybody fucking fail to check what happened to the other people that fucking went through this place?
Yeah, that's what they should have.
You know what I mean? Like,
It was very familiar. We read, seen movies. We talked about movies that had houses built on top of graveyards and all this kind of crap. Hello, we just read a familiar scenario here.
yeah, during the time that we have been talking about horror movies, we have come across that subject numerous times.
All the time, yes.
And the one dude that I felt sorry for, I have to say, dude, the one guy that I loved in this movie, because he was funny as fuck. I think Tom Savini deserves a lot of credit. Sex Machine is fucking hilarious in this fucking shit in this movie. He he's just a wisecracking he's a wisecracking asshole. That's what he is. Like him and Frost are besides Seth. I think Seth was but I have to say that Seth was kind of an asshole a little bit in this movie. But especially towards Kate and stuff. But I think by the middle of this film he starts to come around and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I felt so bad for Sex Machine and Frost. Like my dad, especially the fact that you come to find out that Frost was a Vietnam veteran and stuff like that.
Wow.
And my dad was a Vietnam veteran and stuff like that. And yeah, I love Frost. I thought both Sex Machine and Frost they were really good characters in this movie.
Yeah.
The entire cast actually. I'm not gonna say that everybody, including the kids, including the two kids, Juliette Lewis and Ernest Liu, who played the Fuller stepbrother and sister. They were really good. Everybody did really, really good in this movie. I felt so bad. I felt real bad for Gloria, the bank teller, and the who Richie kills at the beginning of the movie. But yeah, I have to give this movie a lot of credit. This movie is creepy as hell. This movie is funny as hell. And I enjoyed every minute of it. But would you watch this movie, dude?
I think I would. I want to see it myself, you know. Yeah, I mean, like I said, all the actors are good. I know who all these people are. I mean, George Clooney, I know him from a lot of good movies like Over the Barn Thou, and yes, Batman. And Quentin Tarantino, of course, you saw him in Desperado. He played the guy that was the trucker that was, making the joke in the bar, Desperado.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, Salma Hayek. I mean, I know all these actors, man, and I would definitely see that. I think I'm going to take advantage and watch this film and give it a chance. And I'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, it's well done, man. Looks like it's going to be a good movie, and I definitely would watch it, yes.
Yeah. Well, I think I would have to. I think I'm gonna give this movie 10 out of 10. I have to. This movie is fucking hilarious. This movie's funny on every way of the imagination. and it shows. uh, Most of the people in this movie are from the Desperado films,
Yeah.
and I I gotta give Robert Rodriguez and Quentin Tarantino a run for their money because this movie was fantastic. Uh, I love Quentin Tarantino's movies. I talked a little bit about Pulp Fiction. I talked a little bit about when when I talked about some of his films. I talked about also another movie that he did. I haven't gotten to Django Unchained yet. I have seen that movie, but I haven't gotten to review it yet. Um, but that one's pretty good too. Uh,
Yeah.
and I I've seen bits and pieces of the Kill Bill movies, and I thought
Yeah.
that they were pretty good too. Um, but I'll probably get to those another day. We'll see what happens. But well, anyway, but yeah, I love From Dusk Till Dawn. I give this movie 10 out of 10, like I said before. Coming up next, um, coming up next, I am finally gonna do my spoiler review after 2 freaking years. I'm finally gonna do my spoiler review for Kong Skull Island.
Yes.
Um, so that's coming up next. So stay tuned. I am Mr. Grandphone 2 with Dark Knight Edit 7, and we'll see you all in the afterlife. Peace.